Today, we're diving into a story that's straight out of science fiction, except it's real. We're talking about a brain implant, a single chip that's completely changing what's possible. For one man, it became a lifeline, a way to plug back into the world. This is the incredible story of Neuralink's very first human trial.
But let's just kick things off with a wild question. What if you could move a cursor on a screen just by thinking about it? I mean, no hands, no voice, just your thoughts directly controlling a computer. That's the mind-blowing promise we're going to get into.
And, at the very center of all this high-tech stuff is a real person. His name is Nolan Arbogast, and his story, well, it takes this futuristic tech and makes it incredibly human. It's a story about challenge, yeah, but also about hope and finding purpose again. So to really get why this is such a huge deal, we've got to start with Nolan himself. His journey into this pioneering medical world, it all started with one moment, a single accident that just changed everything. Yeah, back in 2016, a swimming accident left him paralyzed completely from the shoulders down. And he's talked about how he felt like he just lost his purpose. So when he decided to join this trial, it wasn't just about him. He wanted to push the science forward, to be part of something bigger, even knowing there were risks involved. Okay, so how on earth does this actually work? How do you take a thought and turn it into an action on a screen? This is where we get into the really cool science behind it all, the brain-computer interface. All right, so the tech is called a brain-computer interface, or a BCI for short. And the basic idea is actually kind of simple when you break it down. When you think about doing something, like moving your hand, the neurons in your brain fire off in a very specific pattern. A BCI is basically a system that's built to listen in on those patterns, read them, and translate them into commands a computer can actually understand. And this is how Neuralink's system does it. It's a four-step dance, really. First, Nolan just thinks. He imagines moving the cursor. That's it. Step 2, the implant, which has over 1,000 tiny little electrodes, picks up those brain signals right from his motor cortex. Then the software, this is the magic part, decodes what those signals mean. And finally, boom, a command is sent to the computer. Just like that, a thought becomes an action on the screen. And the implant itself is pretty remarkable. I mean, the whole surgery was done by a robot and only took about 2 hours. But here's the real game changer. It's totally wireless. There are no cables sticking out of his skin, which is a huge deal for day-to-day life. Of course, just like your phone, it has a battery. So yeah, it does need to be recharged pretty regularly. So all this tech is amazing, right? But what did it actually mean for Nolan's daily life? Well, the impact was huge. We're not talking about superpowers here. We're talking about getting back the simple things, the everyday stuff that so many of us take for granted. I mean, look at this contrast. Before, he talked about his life being completely flipped upside down, staying up all night, sleeping all day. But after, wow, his day is completely changed. He's now using the system for up to 10 hours a day. And he's not just browsing the web, he's studying neuroscience, he's giving talks, and yeah, he's even playing Mario Kart. And this right here, this might be the most important part of the whole story. His own words, I felt like I had potential again. Think about that. That feeling, that mental shift, getting back that sense of independence. That's just as big of a breakthrough as the technology itself. Now, we have to be super clear about something. This is not a cure for paralysis, okay? It didn't make him walk again. What it did do was restore his connection to the digital world. It gave him back access to communication, to learning, to a sense of control in a world that's, well, pretty much all online now. But, with any tech this powerful, you have to ask some tough questions. This success is absolutely a massive milestone, but it also means we have to talk about the risks, the challenges, and the ethical stuff that we're going to have to figure out. And things are moving fast. I mean, just look at this timeline. Neuralink gets FDA clearance in 2023, and by early 2024, Nolan has the implant. That pace is incredible. But it also means we need to be really, really careful. Because let's not forget, this is still a serious medical experiment. Brain surgery is a big deal, right? There are risks of infection or the device failing. And what about the long term? We just don't know what happens after years of use. Then you've got data privacy. I mean, can you think of anything more private than your actual brain signals? And who gets this technology? Is it going to be affordable for everyone who needs it? On top of all that, there's the personal side. Nolan himself had to deal with some awful stuff like online harassment and even a swatting incident. So where does this all go from here? Getting one person to move a cursor is a monumental first step, for sure, but it is just a first step. The really exciting part is thinking about what comes next. Think of it this way. Moving the cursor is like the hello world of brain-computer interfaces. It's the proof that it works. But the platform this creates, well, that could be used to control almost anything. It could literally change the definition of what's possible for people with paralysis. Just imagine where this could lead. Right now, it's a computer cursor. The next logical step? Maybe controlling your phone or your wheelchair, just with a thought. And if you look even further down the road, we could be talking about controlling a robotic arm or leg, giving someone back a way to physically interact with their environment. It's incredible to think about. And all of this brings us to one final, really big question. Nolan's story has given us a peek into a totally new future. As we get better and better at, literally decoding the language of the brain, the real challenge for all of us is going to be this. How do we navigate this incredible new frontier with care, with wisdom, and with a real focus on our shared humanity?